Hi everyone, thanks for joining. So today we've got Craig Fretwell who's going to talk around hybrid cloud backup with Data Protection Managers 2016. Craig is one of our delivery consultants at PowerON, loads of knowledge around the subject. So if you have any questions about anything that you see, if you want to raise them in the message box around down the side, and we'll address those at the end, but also there'll be question time at the end as well, just to answer any questions or queries you may have as a result of the webinar. So without further ado, I'll pass you over to Craig and let Craig start.
Thank you, Catherine. Hey guys, I'm here to talk about hybrid cloud backup using Data Protection Manager 2016. Just going over the agenda, we'll be covering the DPM workloads, the new features in DPM 2016, the benefits of upgrading from DPM 2012 to 2016. I will then show you some slides on how to create a storage pool utilizing that new modern backup storage feature, and we will then finish extending that into Azure for that long-term retention goal. So a little bit about me. I'll try not to bore you too much. I've been in IT for 10 years, dealing with a wide range of customers in the public and private sector, mainly focusing on Azure and the hybrid cloud. And I think we're just going to dive straight in. So Data Protection Manager workloads. DPM can protect business workloads such as SQL, SharePoint, Exchange, or file servers. It can even back up Windows clients and Linux VMs. These can be running on a physical server, Hyper-V, or VMware using that new agentless backup technology. Optionally, data can be protected in the cloud for that long-term retention goal. All you need is an Azure subscription and to create a free services vault. I can show you how to do this later. So why DPM 2016? Well, it's got faster backups using modern backup storage, resilient change tracking, shielded VM backups, and upgrading a DPM production server to 2016 does not require a reboot. So let's talk a bit about the modern backup storage. This uses a new resilient file system, REFS, block cloning technology to store incremental backups. DPM dramatically improves storage utilization and performance. The storage consumed by backups grows and shrinks with the production data source, and there is no over-allocation of storage. This achieves a 30 to 40% storage savings. Using REFS volumes and storing backups on VHDXs means there are no local disk manager limits or storage over-allocations. This improves IOPS efficiency, making backups 70% faster. Resilient change tracking. DPM uses RCT, the native change tracking in Hyper-V, which removes the need for time-consuming consistency checks. RCT provides better resiliency than the change tracking provided by a VSS snapshot-based backup. DPM also uses RCT for incremental backups. It identifies VHD changes for virtual machines and transfers only those blocks that are indicated by the change tracker. Shielded VM backups in the Windows Server 2016 help protect sensitive VMs from inspection, tampering, and data theft by malware and malicious administrators. DPM 2016 backups retain the protections provided by shielded VMs to ensure they can be recovered seamlessly and securely. When you upgrade to DPM 2016, you are not required to reboot the production server. Backups will continue and you can reboot the production server when you like. This can be out of hours. You can install DPM 2016 on a Windows Server 2012 R2 or Windows Server 2016. If you're installing DPM 2016 on a Windows Server 2012 R2, you must upgrade the existing DPM installation from 2012 R2 with update rollup 10 or greater. Before you upgrade or install DPM 2016, please read the prerequisites on the Microsoft site. Some DPM 2016 features, such as modern backup storage, requires Server 2016 to get that full resilient file system. It is possible to upgrade DPM 2016 from 2012 R2 running on a Windows Server 2012 R2. However, customers wanting DPM 2016, they'll obviously want the new technologies. So Microsoft recommend installing DPM 2016 on a new installation of Windows Server 2016, or doing an in-plate upgrade is also viable. So the modern backup storage. Using REFS technology, you can simply create a storage pool on your Windows Server 2016 and let DPM do the rest. I'll show you how to add additional storage into a DPM storage pool and utilize that new MBS technology. So I've already created a DPM storage pool and now I want to add additional space. Don't worry, I've already created the pool. The process applies when adding additional space is the same. So you add a disk at VM level. This is Hyper-V level. DPM has a 120 terabyte storage pool limit where 80 terabytes can be used for replica volume space and a maximum of 40 terabytes can be used for recovery point space. So if you hop over to the DPM management server, you'll need to add that disk. So once you've added the storage, you need to right click the pool and click add physical disk. Right click the tasks within the physical disk pane, check the box and then click OK. This will populate the extra storage within the storage pool on your local server and also showing the physical disks attached. Once a physical disk has been added, you'll see the storage pool has increased, but it'll still show as free space. This is where we'll need to extend that virtual disk. So we right click the virtual disk pane and click extend virtual disk. We'll get a pop-up box and we check maximum size. You can specify size, but best practice is to, utilize that full size. Then we click OK. So that should be done, but if you go over to the console on the DPM server, it will still show as 147 gig. So where is my extra storage? I've just provisioned. Where is it? This is where we'll need to extend that volume within the local server. So we open disk management within the DPM server, right click the current storage pool and click extend. You'll see that there is an unallocated disk next to it. So we open the disk extend volume wizard, click next. We click add the disk, then click next and finish. It's that easy. And you have done it. So we've fully extended the volume and the storage has been provisioned, and you'll see it's got the new REFS technology. So we go open the DPM console on that server, we hit rescan and the storage has been provisioned. It's in the pool and you can add additional storage as often as you like, and there is no impact on production workloads whether you're backing up or restoring. So let's extend DPM to Azure for that long-term retention goal. But first, why should you extend to Azure? Azure is quite scary for people, so I'm just going to give you a quick overview. The business benefits of using Azure Backup for backing up DPM servers include an on-premise DPM deployment. You can use Azure as an alternative to long-term deployment goal. For DPM deployments in Azure, Azure Backup allows you to offload storage from the Azure disk, allowing you to scale up by storing all the data in Recovery Services Vault on a new disk. There is no limit to the amount of data you can back up to the Recovery Vault in Azure, but the size of the data source, for example, a virtual machine or database, shouldn't exceed 54,400 gigabytes. If you have a VM that size, what are you running exactly? And I would love a screenshot because that would be pretty impressive. So first we need to prepare Azure. So we'll go over to the Azure portal and we will create the Recovery Services Vault. The Recovery Services Vault blade opens, and then you'll need to provide a name, a subscription, and a location, and a resource group. For the name, it needs to be a friendly name, so you can figure out what it is, DPM Services Backup, whatever. Subscription, if you have a selection or multiple of these, you may have quite a few, then select the subscription which best fits you. Click the resource group. Best practice would be to put the Vault in its own resource group. Don't just chuck it in with a load of other VMs and random stuff. I mean, you can move resources now, but let's keep this separate. And then select a geographical region for the location, and then you hit create, and you can monitor the status within the portal. It's pretty quick. So the storage replication option then allows you to choose between geo-redundant and locally redundant storage. By default, your vault has geo-redundant storage. Best practice is to leave this option as geo-redundant storage, because this replicates the copies 6 times in different data centers to ensure complete redundancy. We will then need to download the vault credentials. The vault credential file is a certificate generated by the portal for each backup vault. The portal then uploads the public key to the access control service. The private key of the certificate is made available to the user as part of the workflow, which is given as an input in the machine registration workflow. This authenticates the machine to send the backup data to an identified vault in the Azure Backup Service. So to do that, you open your newly created Recovery Services vault. We click the Settings blade, and then we click Properties. On the Properties page, click Download under Backup Credentials. The portal generates the vault credentials file, which is made available. Once downloading, the portal will generate a file credential using a combination of the vault name and the current date. It will take up for a minute or so for the file to be generated. Very important, make sure the vault credential file is saved in a location which can be accessed from your production machine. If it's stored on SMB share or file share, make sure permissions, are easily accessible. The vault credential file is only used during that registration workflow and will expire after 48 hours. After creating the backup vault, an agent should be installed on each of your System Center Data and Protection Manager servers. That will enable backups of the data and applications to Azure. Open the Recovery Services vault in the Settings blade and click Properties. On the Settings page, click Download under Backup Agent. Once the agent is downloaded, double-click that Mars Agent installer to launch the installation of Azure Backup. Choose the installation folder and then a scratch space, and the cache of the location must have at least 5% free for the backup data. So then we register the Azure Backup with the DPM server. So we open the DPM console, we click the Management tab, and then we click Online and then Register. This will bring up the registration setup wizard. If you use a proxy server connected to the internet, then enter your proxy configurations, otherwise just click Next. In the Vault Credentials screen, browse to and select the Vault Credentials file which was previously downloaded. On the Throttlings page, you can control the use of network bandwidth during work and non-work hours. You can set these limits to whatever you like. And then the recovery folder setting. Browse for where the files and folders from Azure will be temporarily staged. I think it shows there about 100 gig. Think about that. Encryption setting. You can either enter or generate a passphrase, a minimum of 16 characters, but be warned, remember this passphrase and save it in a secure location. If the passphrase is lost or forgotten, Microsoft cannot help in recovering the data. The end user owns the encryption passphrase. Microsoft has nothing to do with it. They cannot see the passphrase. So please save this in a secure location because this will be needed for recovery operations. We then click Register. If successful, you should see your backup management server in the Azure portal. After a short while, you'll be able to see the data consumption space in the DPM management section. Thank you very much. I'm Craig Fretwell. If you would like any more information, please visit poweronplatforms.com. Alternatively, email info@poweronplatforms.com. But before I depart, has anyone got any questions? I'll try my best to answer them. Nope.
Great, thanks, Craig. That was a lot quicker than we were expecting. If anyone does have any questions at all, or has anyone got anything that, in terms of from the objectives, sort of the idea and the expectations from the webinar, is there anything in there that hasn't been answered? Is there anything in terms of looking to migrate over? Anything of this is a great opportunity, really. We've got Ken from PowerON also on the line who can possibly help and answer with any questions as well. Okay. On that note, then, thanks very much, guys, and hope to speak to you all soon. Thank you.